Who's the moderator? You can introduce
Michaela.
Michaela.
He wanted to start himself.
Yeah,
So
it's fine.
selfish.
Yeah, I'm selfish. No,
Oi.
but I mean,
Oi, oi, oi. Do you hear me well? I guess so.
yeah. Okay. Please. Thank you.
So welcome. Maybe you could spread the word outside that we are going to continue with the last session of the last section of the session of today called Collaborating with the Locals. And that's your code, I think. This session is entitled Collaborative Engagement. We will locally stay in Brazil, and I'm very happy to welcome Mihai, Leaha and Paula Bessa Braz, and they will, for the first 40 minutes maybe, present on a work in progress, and then we have 20 minutes discussion, half an hour break before there's the award ceremony. And we are looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you very much.
I'm personally really happy to be in Göttingen for the symposium. It has been 10 years since we were talking about participatory cinema in a symposium that kind of tended to go beyond the observational cinema. I don't know how we ended up here talking about collaborative filmmaking again, but I think our project is collaborative in many ways, and we are trying kind of to explain how specifically is collaborative. First of all, it's collaborative because of us, and we are both at the University of São Paulo, involved in the, well, I was at the university, now I'm at the University of Barcelona, but this project was made as part of a big thematic project at the University of São Paulo called Local Musicking, New Pathways for Ethnomusicology. And yeah, we are both part of it. Yesterday we presented the project, the film Canto de Família, Family Song, which is based on like Paula's research. And now this project is kind of based on my research about the electronic music scene in São Paulo. And well, various aspects about it. And today we will show you how we kind of developed our collaboration into a more, let's say, complex collaboration with our subject.
Yes, so I guess just to explain the presentation a little bit, we're going to first talk about this, the Mihai's research and the work that we developed together through this research and how it developed into something else. So I'm going to be there operating so he can talk about the website.
So yeah, for the sake of time, I'm just going to rapidly read a little bit because just to leave more time for discussions. So one of the main results of my research is this website, which is called Sensor Rhythms. And the website proposes a multimodal and collaborative research model that will host an ethnographic film series, as well as what I call a multimodal book that will complement the series. By creatively engaging with digital, audiovisual, and multimodal methods, the website takes film as a pivoting element in the construction of this web content, while engaging with other medias and experimenting with multiple ways of anthropological writing. This 7-episode film series at about like 20 minutes each episodes um, is features collaborations with artists, performers, scenographers, producers, filmmakers, photographers, or anthropologists, and engage in co-authored filmmaking and multimodal dialogues. The intention is to build sensorythm in the form of an online multimodal book that feature a chapter arrangement capable of incorporating film, photography, experimental video, text in its various form, online conversations, further links, and diverse digital explorations. In this way, the anthropological inquiry considers the complex interactions that happen in the electronic music scene that I'm actually trying to, well, represent or discuss together with the members of the scene. Moreover, this website is meant to appeal to a greater audience by moving beyond a strict academic pattern of writing or to be restricted exclusively to the field of ethnographic filmmaking. It tends to be made first for the members of the scene and then for a rather general audience. So today we will present a part of this research, and more specifically, we will talk about the nature of collaborations that went into the creation of the first episode of our project Sensorythms, and then we'll follow in its development into a more avant la lettre collaborative project that took place during the pandemic and then beyond. Okay.
Thank you very, very much for what's a really, and congratulations on what looks like a really fascinating and amazing project. Great photography. And I really like the idea about the serial aspect of it as well, how you put that on the website. Yeah, what I was really intrigued by was that in the end you put it in the context of Black feminist theory, because before that I was a bit ambivalent. I still am actually about whether what happens if you have these extremely aesthetic, beautiful images of the performances, and then, as always in films about drag, you have this behind the scenes and on stage. And then you double this basically with the COVID videos. You have another form of presenting yourself just from your homes. And I'm not sure if this really is adding the control over the images or simplifying sort of, or maybe evening out this, sort of that contrast, that extreme contrast that we saw between the glamorous on stage images with the music and then sort of the badly lit, sort of a pale face, and I'm not sure if that adds to a more honest sort of view, but sort of creates a contrast that is oversimplified, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we have
you have
these
to, yeah,
tools.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's super contrasty, but I love that. I mean, I think was very contrasty when the pandemic came with our lights began to change as well, so I think we were following a certain kind of natural path of history of what was happening, but also like I think it was a big shift in the approach. That's maybe the most striking thing, because if in the beginning is this more like a collaborative attitude, as Peter said earlier, everything is collaborative. Well, then we actually began to work with collaborativeness and their talents, the way they are capable of presenting themselves, and these kind of workshops that we had online, and the fact that we didn't have access to for us to go to film them, turned into something else. So, and that something else was not enough, and that's why we created the final workshop, because we wanted an end for this story, and we actually didn't want an end that looks like the real world, like the pandemic ends, so what now? It didn't end. I mean, it kept on for so long in Brazil. It was so heavy, so violent, and well, I don't know if I answered your question.
I think just adding to what you're saying is that it's interesting that we see this and that we think about it of this contrast, because it's a film to be, right? So we are kind of dealing with these different types of materials, and that were filmed and created in different moments. And I guess the whole talk was like us trying to reflect upon how collaborativeness shifted along this path. So I guess it also shows the artifice of filmmaking is always there, right? But I guess in different perspectives, you kind of get a different the challenge is to put them all together in a film that is coherent and that is addressing properly their issues and their lives and their ways. So yeah, it's still on. It's a work in progress. So it's nice that we have this in mind.
For me, just to add up a little bit, for me it was a bit like Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. When you have like, I know it's completely, but I mean, you have that episode before, and then you have the war. But I think the episode before was quite more interesting than the war itself. So we were playing with this like backstages, and what is a backstage when you are performing online? It's your own house, and I mean, I think that itself is really interesting.
Yeah, the last scene reminded me of the last scene in The Act of Killing, but that's a completely different story. So are there questions from the audience? Yes, please. Is there someone with a mic? No,
I'll just do it standing. Firstly, thank you very much for your talk, and thank you very much for showing some clips of your films. I have a fairly short question. You as anthropologists have tried to engage in the world of drag queens and kings. Have you also tried to engage in a participatory observation style? In other words, have you tried it out yourself to be a drag king or drag queen?
It would be my dream. I've asked them, but they wouldn't spend their makeup on me, so it's very expensive. So no, unfortunately, no. I've tried their wig, I guess, but I'm not talented. I cannot. I just don't have it.
And at one point we had some online meeting with those filters that make you a drag queen, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's
we
the
were playing
farthest
around
we
with
went.
this.
Yes.
But at the cabin in the next to the seaside where we did our like laboratory, we did try some wigs and we play around. We had some more time for that.
I had like a class of how to take a good selfie, like with the makeup and the wig and all, but I cannot say I learned. Yeah.
Are there any other questions, comments? Katharina?
I was wondering, so this is an ongoing project, meaning that you are going to keep doing these workshops? How do you plan to follow up in this project?
I think it's an unfinished project rather than an ongoing. But actually, I was thinking that maybe it would be really interesting to continue a little bit with the upcoming elections, because it kind of closes a circle. But then we have to talk to them to see how they might think about it.
And we are always in touch. I mean, they became really good friends. We became really good friends, and we've been planning on doing on mostly screening the first episode of the series, which is not unrelated to the pandemic. We've been screening it in their collective, so we're planning on he was planning on going to Curitiba to screen it at collective, and we did it also in São Paulo already at the party. So
So the party was kind of an installation because it was like the third edition after the pandemic. The party stopped, and our screen was on the stage, and they were like kind of seemingly going again on that stage. So it was like really, really cool.
Yeah, but definitely the film after the video diaries, I guess this is that part of the process is over. We're not doing the video diaries anymore. They couldn't take it anymore. Also, they were tired. And we got it. Yeah. So after a year, the video diaries went for a year, basically. So it's.
So do you still plan to put it all together, the two genres into, or I mean, there's more than two
Yes.
genres, but the two different ways of collaboration into one film? You wouldn't stick with just the website and the serial?
No.
Yeah.
It's
Why do you
intertextual cinema, right? So I mean, we get this first part, then we have the second part, which is the video diaries, and then we have like a lot of more material from this. I mean, the video clip is just one result of the workshop, but then we had like a drag breakfast, and they were like discussing things. It was all things that they came up with, like the scenarios and how to put it in stage. And yeah, I mean, I think why not? We are dealing with so different kind of media every day, so I think it works in a film. It's either refreshing, I suppose.
We have a question, Pavel?
Still have time.
Yes.
No.
We
Yes
have
and
time
no.
for one last question.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Can you perhaps elaborate on like strategies of distributing this multimodal transmedia project? What is your audience? Where do you find it? Can you tell us, please?
You mean the website?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am working together with this Clubber, who is also like a influencer online, and she's a promoter of parties. So my first purpose is to get it distributed into like the scene. And we already had a lot of like support. We have an Instagram page that is building, but the website is not launched yet. So we are ready to like put more content on it and to make it a bit more like not only I writing things, but together with the protagonist. And this all takes a lot of time. And but we have produced like most of the episodes. Four of them are ready already, and then we have more 3 which are a little bit different, and we are in production with them. But in terms of distribution, that would be like the first intention, to have it in the scene, maybe in other websites where like electronic music scene is someone is interested in this topic, and it's for them, I think it's more for them.
Thank you very much. I think they really want us out because we have to let fresh air in. But thank you so much again.
Thank
for
you so much.
fantastic project.
Thank you, Mihai. Yeah. Thank you. It's
Thank you so much.